This meeting is called to order. Good evening and welcome to the July 28, 2022 meeting of the Southeast Delco Board of School Directors. May we please stand for a salute of the flag and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you, baby. Mr. Butler, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes, you may, Madam President. Mrs. Abney.
Present.
Ms. Perry.
Present.
Ms. Monroe.
Present.
Mrs. Peter Coey, excused. Ms. Woodfolk.
Present.
Mrs. Washington.
Present.
Mr. Fowler.
Present.
Ms. Crawley, excused. Ms. Harris Johnson.
Present.
Dr. Winder.
Present.
Mr. DiOrio.
Present.
Mr. Butler, present.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. I don't have any announcements as the board president at this time. Dr. Weiner, do you have a superintendent's report?
Yes, I just have a couple of congratulations for our APHS, our Academy Park High School graduation. We had 11 more seniors that completed graduation today. So we would like to say kudos to those students and their families. Our summer school ended today. Our 21st century had 310 students. Our ESY had 196 students, and our summer school had 220 students. So we're looking at nearly a little bit over 800 students that attended summer school this year of some sort. And also kudos to Darby Township administration and teachers for hosting Pretzel with Principals for their first graders. They had 50 first graders and their families come out today to get a tour and some orientation of the new school. Kudos to them. You would notice that the comprehensive plan was originally on the agenda. However, due to technical difficulties and half of it being lost and having to be retyped in, we are going to put it on next month's agenda to give the board an opportunity to look over the new plan with its corrections. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Winder. Now we're going to do motions to approve agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the July 28, 2022 agenda as submitted?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve minutes for the June 23, 2022 regular board business meeting?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Are there any questions on the bills? Hearing and seeing none. Do I have a motion to approve the bills for the payment in the amount of $7,466,000 $7,466,892.91.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we're going to do the questions on new business. Are there any questions on education items 1 through 12? Are there any questions on finance items 1 through 6? Are there any questions on human resource items 1 through 21? Are there any questions on policy item number 1? There are no property items. Are there any public comments regarding agenda items?
Madam President, there are two. Unfortunately, I can't read one of them because it does not have an address on it, but that one is in regards to the cheerleaders. The second one is in regards to the comprehensive plan. There is no name or address. And that's it. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, can I make my statement? Good afternoon, everyone. If you are sending in any questions, concerns about the district to the board members, please make sure that you email board@sudelco.org. And also make sure that you state your full name and your residence, place of residence as well. If you do not have your name and your residence, your address, then I will just be forwarding them to the superintendent, and then someone will get back to you. Thank you. What? Ms. Manson, you have 3 minutes. Please give me a moment.
Dr. Winder, before I start,
No, ma'am.
well, I wrote 3 things, so I need to know if everything is now or is it later? Some of the items might not be on the agenda, so right now we're talking about agenda items.
Correct.
So,
And the cheerleading is on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay?
all right.
Ms. Manson, you have 3 minutes. Please state your address. Residence. Thank you.
Latanya Manson, 1545 Foster Avenue, Darby Township. Okay. First, I want to say, after looking at the minutes, thank you for approving the funds for camp. We do appreciate it. It also says on here that each participant will be reimbursed individually. So how is that? Like, what do you need from me, or what do you need from my parents, or how are they supposed to receive those funds?
Mr. Butler, please.
Yes, so you have the applications of the participants or the individuals who participated?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's all, that will be the supporting document.
So you just need a list of their names?
Well, and the application would be required as well. I believe there was an application that was submitted. for
Yes,
them.
I sent you, but their names are not individually on there. Like, they don't ask me for that. They just ask me for the number of participants. Now, I have a receipt book of everybody that paid me.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay,
Okay, not a problem.
all right. Yeah, that was it for agenda items.
Okay, I'll call you back up when we get to non-agenda.
All right. How many minutes I had left?
New business voting. Do I have a motion to approve education items 1 through 12?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve finance items 1 through 6?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Which number?
6.
Number 6. Motion carries.
6 in finance, under finance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, number 6 in finance. So you approve of 1 through 5?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to approve human resource items 1 through 21?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve policy item 1?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. There are no property items. County Community Committee reports. Ms. Woodfolk, do you have a report of Delaware County Community College?
No, not at this moment.
Ms. Monroe, Witsett, do you have a report on Delaware County Intermediate Unit?
Not at this time, but I do want to bring up an important point so parents are very aware of what's going on. So there are new mandates for 12th grade graduation. So if you have a 12th grader that's graduating for the academic year of 2022, 2023, you need to familiarize yourself with those. And you can do that by going on to the Pennsylvania Department of Education website, and it gives a list of all of the senior requirements. I know Dr. Lowry has already talked to the principals about it, but just to give the parents a heads up, because it just got rolled out to every district in Pennsylvania within the last 2-3 months. And I know most parents are not familiar with that. So please, 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 as a senior parent for the 2022-2023 school year, please familiarize yourself with that. That is part of your child graduating. So they might have all their credits, but they might not have done something that the state said they needed to do. And I don't want you to be upset come May and June when you find out, hey, your child didn't do this, that, or the third. So please familiarize yourself with that. Again, it's on the Pennsylvania Department of Education website. That's all, Madam President.
Thank you. Ms. Witsett. Mr. Fowler, do you have a report on PSBA Legislative Council?
Not this moment, Madam President.
Ms. Crowley's not here to do a report on the Parent-Student Advisory Committee.
There's none.
Okay,
Madam President?
yes.
I know that we talked about this parent-student advisory. I believe that Ms. Perry is going to start that up.
I don't think that there has been a meeting between Ms. Perry and Dr. Ryan and Ms. Crawler to get all the necessary information to set it up for September.
Oh, okay.
So once that's done, then we can move forward with the new person in charge.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. DiOrio, do you have a solicitor's report?
Nothing this evening, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Is there an administrative update?
Yes, Dr. Lowry?
Okay, good evening, everybody. I was asked by the board to do a presentation concerning our academic program, and I just wanted to walk everyone through some brief updates concerning our academic program and the trajectory that we as a district are intending and moving ourselves forward. A lot of this information was provided to principals at our administrative retreat, which was just about 2 weeks ago. So I wanted to update the board and the public as to where we are going academically as a school district. So there's a lot that we are working on as a group of administrators, principals, teachers, and whatnot in terms of what the actual product of teaching and learning looks like in front of our kids in our schools. So there's some news that we're going to share here, some exciting things that already began to happen in our schools, and we just want to share that here today. So obviously a point that we have to take a look at is the antiquated nature of a lot of our curricular frameworks. A lot of our frameworks that we currently have in our district were created many years ago, a lot of them from 2016, even from before then. A lot has changed in the realm of teaching and learning, and we are attacking that immediately so that we can get our curricular programs up to a more modern state in our district. I'm going to show some prelim data from PSSA and Keystone that is literally hot off the press from the Pennsylvania Department of Education. But what we're going to see here is that math is absolutely our biggest area of need. I think our administrative team, our principals, and our teachers will all see that and understand that we have to make growth and we have to look at mathematics instruction in a different way. Science is another area. I'll talk about science a little bit later. English language arts. We have, and the board has approved over the last 2 to 3 years, a lot of curricular updates and materials updates for ELA. Just recently, as of April, May, the board approved a new kindergarten, first and second grade literacy program that we are rolling out. It's actually being delivered as we speak to our buildings. We want to make sure that our ELA literacy frameworks are in line and in tune with not only what the state standards say, but also what our materials that we have in our buildings. A big thing that we really want to start looking at in terms of 4th grade all the way through through our high school is how do we incorporate quality novels, quality literature into our curricular frameworks. And the last thing, a pacing guide. We want to make sure that a district pacing guide is available for all of our grade levels so that when an administrator or a teacher is in a building, we know and we have a kind of an idea of where a child and where a teacher should be in a 4th grade class in the 2nd week of March. So we don't want to prescribe word for word instruction, but we want our district to be uniformed in the sense of what happens in our buildings in terms of the calendar and what standards the state of Pennsylvania is directing that we should basically have. So this is where we are, and it's a very poignant look at where we stand right today. So in our high school, with our current Keystone information that just came out, we have about 3% of our students in our high school that are proficient or advanced overall in algebra. About 14% of our kids are proficient or advanced in biology. About 29% of our kids are proficient or advanced in the literacy Keystone. Looking at our elementary buildings, our 4 elementary buildings in grades 3 to 8, we're looking at about under 10% in the latest PSA administration that are proficient or advanced in math, and a little bit under 30% proficient or advanced in literacy overall. That's a district level snapshot preliminary. So when the state of Pennsylvania and Department of Education polishes the numbers and they push it out, these numbers may change plus or minus a couple points, but this is a very early look at where we are based upon the administration that we just took. So that being said, we want to really take a look in our district at an instructional framework and an instructional minute focus. And this really is critical to get all of our elementary buildings on the same minute structure across the district. So right now, depending upon literally where you sit and the seat that your child is in the classroom that they're rostered in, could mean vastly different circumstances for a child in our district. So if you're in one section in one school, you might have, in a middle school, you might have literacy for 65 minutes a day. In another building, you might have it for 105 minutes. Another building, you might have it for 84 minutes. In order to streamline and to make sure that our curricular units make sense across our 4 buildings and to have a framework that we can roll out to all teachers in the district, we have to get control of our instructional minutes. So over the summer, we worked closely with our principals, bouncing schedule ideas back and forth, and we have a new framework for instruction that really puts an emphasis on literacy and math instruction across all of our core areas. Also looking at consistent science instruction across our board too. So this is reflective of master building schedules that all of our elementary buildings now currently have. Just rolled out another draft of that, and principals currently have that and are working to make sure that their rosters are in line with our instructional minute outlays that we asked for. Another big thing is professional learning. I'm not talking about PD days, because we have a couple PD days throughout the year, but this is daily meetings, and I have to use the Harris School as an example. A request went out to create a professional learning community calendar that will be rolled out for all buildings in our district, where it's showing what grades are meeting, what they're doing, and what the content focus is. And this is going to be building-led under administrative purview with the principal and assistant principal and the leaders of the building. But as you can see, it's ensuring that each of our grade levels has a minimum of one professional learning community meeting per week. New teacher time, because we will be having a lot of brand new teachers into our district. We want to make sure that they are included and that they have professional development at an early opportunity, but also other time for tasks and data collection that we need in order to move our district forward, including time for parental outreach, time for data collection and analysis, time for common planning as a grade group. So that is part two of ensuring that our principals and our teachers are all on the same page in terms of what is expected and what time is available for these individual tasks. So moving forward, I just want to very quickly walk you through our plan and our proposed plan timeline. A lot of stuff is already in motion, but wanted just to openly talk about this very quickly. So our number one goal is to start with our mathematics framework and that update. We've already started that work, partnering with the Delaware County Intermediate Unit. They are working with us for a total math framework upgrade. So we're starting from our middle school and our our middle school and our high school and working our way backwards. So we want to frame up our 8th grade, our 9th grade, and we want to start from that point and then start rolling backwards to ensure that the standards and the content that we have in 8th grade, that we plan for that in the 7th grade. So once we get an 8th grade unit done, we want to go back then and do a 7th grade and a 6th grade and then a 5th grade. What we hope to have through this is preliminary soft drafts of this information out to teachers to start a pilot around the holidays of this year. And we should have the majority, if not all, of these curricular units completed by the summer of 2023 so that we can have a math relaunch in the summer of 2023. On the bottom, I'm going to talk about instructional technology in about a minute, but there's important investments that we made. You might remember at the last board meeting, we talked about the need to ensure that our middle school students up through high school have access to modern technology, including TI-84 calculators, so that we can start working with our students at a younger age to get them proficient using educational technology, especially in math. DCIU is going to support us in those efforts to make sure that our kids and our teachers have not only the equipment, but we have worked with them to help ensure that the kids are using the technology that we're providing in the appropriate way. Step 2 is our English and Language Arts K-8 revamp. We have new materials, which is great. Now we want to start taking a step back and looking at how do we frame those units of study. So we do have some working drafts. We first met with principals shortly after I came into the district. We gave a rough draft of a first proposal back in February. Got some critical feedback in terms of what they like, what some folks didn't like from that, and we're rolling that back out to our teachers for some revisions. We are looking at, again, a pacing guide, not to prescribe what exactly should happen, but to offer parameters and frameworks as to 2-week cycles of what should happen in our literacy classrooms. The bottom part is kind of exciting. We really want to start not only teaching from an anthology or a program for literacy, but we want to get kids engaged in high-quality novels that we can work together with teachers. We all know the best learning happens when we're engaged around quality literacy materials in a classroom. So we put out a request for some suggestions and some feedback from our teachers and administrators in the district. We got, let's say, at least 40 or 50 responses from teachers across the district about quality novels that they would like to see offered in our intermediate through middle school classrooms. Once we clean it up and compile it, we will present that information to the board for review so that you guys can see the trajectory that we like to go through there. Next up is science. Science is a little tricky. So I am by nature, a science teacher, so this is near and dear to my heart. But there's a lot of change that is going on currently within the Pennsylvania Department of Education and Science. Just about 2 weeks ago, new guidance was released from PDE in terms of what the state is looking for in terms of science standards. So, what perfect timing then to be able to revamp our curricular frameworks and our standards here as a district, right as PDE is also looking at advancing some basic things we know. We know that kids learn by doing. We know that kids learn by lab experiences, and we really want to make sure that that's part of whatever we do in terms of a science reboot. It's not just about buying a really cool science program. It's about making sure that our kids have those quality materials, but they're also engaging in those hands-on experiences. PDE is finalizing that now, and we should have a lot more clarity in the next couple of months about what this future of science in Pennsylvania looks like. Social studies, again, another area that is in need of a reboot, a refresh. We, at our last board meeting, we are continuing utilizing our current social studies curriculum and materials that we have for another year while we look at what is out there and begin engaging stakeholder groups across our district to see where should we go in terms of social studies instruction. High school. High school is interesting. High school's a little bit different of a situation. So the high school, as the only high school in our district, we have department chairs that chair our departments and our content areas there. Administration, the high school administration, and the team of teachers will start to look at what that looks like at Academy Park High School. Dr. Ryan and myself already had conversations with the high school principal, Mr. Vogt, about what that looks like in terms of unified syllabi, unified language, and updated pacing guides that will really be done in-house with some support, obviously, from the district. But we need to make sure that our high schools also looking at material, not just new materials, but also updated pacing guides and schedules. So this is cool. This is the cool part. So what you see there is an actual live working smartboard in a Southeast Delco school. And the time is 10:44 a.m. and it's today. So this is live, and in the Delcroft School, Principal McDougall walked me around, and we were able to go into a room and kind of play with some of the equipment that we have. So every child in our district in a kindergarten through 8th grade building will have one of these in their classrooms when they return in September. So this is I mentioned before at a prior board meeting, this is a game changer, and I could not be happier that we have these things in our building. Professional development is not just a one-time deal. It's going to be offered, but we're going to kick off very rapidly in August when our teachers come into the buildings at Sharon Hill Elementary School. So all of our district teachers in grades K through 8 will be cycling through Sharon Hill to engage with the instructional technology specialists for professional development. Also, we did receive delivery, and those calculators are now in all of our 1 to 8 buildings along with our high school. So every child in our district in grades 6, 7, 8 through high school will have access to state-of-the-art technology to be able to move forward with that. So these are purchases that we requested approval, the board approved, and it's immediately going into the hands of our schools and our kids to make an impact immediately. And that is my very quick update. A lot going on, but as you can see, there's a lot of momentum, a lot of energy, and I'm really super excited about this upcoming school year. Thank you, guys.
Dr. Lowry. Oh, go ahead.
I would just like to say, I'm happy to see all of the improvements and the new things that are happening in our district. It's been a long time coming. And with the new administrators that we have in our district now, if this is just the beginning of what they can do, time and patience, I'm sure there's much more that will come that will benefit our students with their education. I just want to give kudos to all of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam President.
Dr. Lowry, I don't know if people told you, but I was a big pain in the person when it came to curriculum for the district. So I am excited about the new changes that are going on, and thank you, your team and administration and leadership of the district. I've been asking for this for a very long time, and I'm seeing some of it come to fruition. So thank you, the team, the administration, leadership of the district. Thank you.
Also tonight, we have with us Ms. Mara Hope. We just approved her as the assistant principal at Delcroft School. If she would stand. We would like to welcome you to the Southeast Delco School District, and we look forward to you working with us as we endeavor to move our staff and students forward. At this time, if you would like to have any remarks, you may do so.
I would just like to say thank you to everybody for this opportunity, and I look forward to getting started working with the teachers, the admin team, and the students. Thank you.
Are there any public comments regarding non-agenda items?
None from me at this time, Madam President.
Mrs. Manson?
Ms. Manson, you have 3 minutes. Please state your name and your residence.
Latanya Manson, 1545 Foster Avenue, Darby Township, PA. Okay, so one of them is stated the taxes and the due date. So you guys approved the taxes in June. We didn't receive the bills until July 22nd. So, and the bill is due on Monday. So that kind of gave us about a 2-week turnaround. So I was trying to see if you guys could move the date back for the first payment. And what I mean by the first payment is the payment plan. The installments, yes. That's the one thing.
Yeah, to respond to that, there's an automatic 15-day grace period. So the grace period is August 15th.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, and my other thing, my other comment is, it's for the school board. Matter of fact, it's probably everybody that's sitting here except for the solicitor. I sent you guys an email that you requested when we had our last meeting on June 23rd, and you told me to send over everything that I asked for the cheerleaders. Now, I am grateful that you did approve. However, it was very unprofessional of you guys not to respond to my email. The only 2 people that responded to my email was Ms. Whitsitt and Ms. Crawley. And then I asked for an amount. I asked for you guys to at least let me know in a certain time period, and I didn't get that. But I called Mr. Butler, and had I not called Mr. Butler, I wouldn't have known anything. He explained everything to me, which made sense, everything that he said. But it's like, y'all couldn't say anything to me. Nobody could respond to tell me anything. And like I said, had I not called Mr. Butler, I wouldn't have known anything. And he told me he seen the email. He said, but nobody else responded, so he didn't think he needed to say anything. So as a board member, I just feel like y'all could have at least responded, hey, Ms. Manson, we did receive your things. We're looking over it. We got to vote on it. We got to do something. Tell me something. Dr. Winder, you sent, matter of fact, you didn't send, it was an automated message, said you out the building till the 11th. So I knew you couldn't give me anything, but still, somebody could have gave me something, especially since I asked for a certain date. So I just find it very unprofessional of you guys that you need to do better with email and responding to emails, because I only sent it out to you guys. It's not like I sent it out to everybody in the district. It was specifically for y'all because y'all are the ones that asked for it. So if you ask for something, it's only right that you respond. That's it.
Thank you.
Look at me getting good.
Thank you.
Hannah Thomas?
Hello, Ms. Thomas. Please state your name and your residence. Or if, are
I'm
you,
out of the district, yes. I'm a teacher at Academy Park.
just say teacher at Kim Park.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Hannah Thomas, and I'm a health and physical education teacher at Academy Park. I'm also the head coach of the volleyball team. And when I was the assistant coach last year, Coach Basile sat me down and explained to me the pride that each volleyball player carries with them, being on the team that has the most wins in Academy Park history. And I wanted to continue to help my girls to be proud members of the volleyball team by asking the board if they could help the team to purchase warm-ups and spandex and backpacks for the team. A lot of the time when we're traveling to different schools, the girls ask why we don't have the same things that other schools do. And I would sit them down and I explain that we're fundraising and we'll get there eventually. And this year, we were able to fundraise $1,100, and even though it was our best efforts, we weren't able to make enough to be able to purchase everything that we would like to. So I reached out to many different vendors, and the price of the backpacks, the spandex, and the warm-ups is $2,962.04. With the money that we raised, the price would be $1,862.04. I would appreciate if you could find the money in your budget to help to cover the cost because our season is starting. And I would like to have these in place for our girls so that they could sort of feel like the rest of the schools that we go to. My girls are hardworking. We have team practices every day after school. They've come all throughout the summer voluntarily and have come to practice with me, even though they have work. They're babysitting their siblings, everything on top of that. And they're just really great girls, and I think that they deserve to have what their opponents have and to look like the other teams that they're facing on the courts. So if it's possible, I would really love to do that for them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask you one question?
Of course.
Because this is the second team that's come up. When is the start date for volleyball?
Our official first scrimmage is on the 23rd of August. But I start
August.
kind of sort of workouts and team practices with them to get them started for tryouts on the 1st.
And just so I have some background knowledge, in the past, have you given these items to the athletic director, stating that you needed these things?
So last year I was the assistant coach and I was not informed of anything that Coach Basile did if he did put things
Right.
forward. This year I did reach out and they haven't gotten their budget yet, so but I was told that they don't think that they have it in their budget that they don't know for everything because it's every single sport in
Right.
high school. So they just don't know if they have it in the budget for all of these things.
Okay.
But they don't know what money they have or what the budget is, so I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you so much.
I have another question.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that your team needs besides the uniform?
Honestly, we would need, our uniforms are, I believe, talking to my assistant coach, are 4 years old, but they do have a smell to them, even after multiple washes. But we would need a new net. We need some protective things to go around the nets.
Can you put a list together
Yeah.
and then send it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Madam President, can we have an executive meeting after this meeting, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is the board in agreement with that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Francesca Bartley.
Hi, everybody. Oh, sorry.
Hi, Ms. Francesca. Yes, you have your name, if you're an employee or a resident of the district, please.
So Francesca Barley, 418 Lafayette Ave in Collingdale.
Thank you.
So I just want to stress to the board, I'm not sure if you are aware of this issue, and I've talked to Mr. Vogt about it, and, we've had the discussion, but the lack of clubs at the high school is appalling. We're probably at about 4 clubs. If you go through our website, the clubs that are on there, and I know the website is under construction, and I get that, but half of those clubs that are listed there don't exist. And I'm not talking like, I mean, I understand because of the teacher contracts and all that. And so I guess what I'm up here asking for, is there any way to get more supplemental money to attract teachers to these clubs that have actual state competitions attached to them? Meaning like FBLA, mock trial, Pennsylvania Junior Academy of Science. We have none of that, and our kids don't have any exposure to any state competitions whatsoever. And so I think they're really lacking in that area. Also, I think it's maybe a retention issue. Like when we're trying to keep kids from 8th grade to 9th grade, they see like what we have at Academy Park, and they might be deterred not to come to Academy Park because this school has that, and we don't have that. So I'm not, like, I know, like, it's a teacher thing and, we have to find people to sponsor it. But I would like teachers to be drawn to be able to do these clubs that have to meet on the weekends or do the competitions on the weekends or after school hours out of contracted hours. Does that make sense? Okay, that's it.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Okay.
When you said there were clubs that were on the website that are not actually there,
Yes.
what are they?
So Omega Nights does not exist. Rising Scholars was supposed to get started last year. It never got started. It was actually board approved for a supplemental contract, and it never started. I think, so FBLA is not even on the website, like, for us to have it. Future Business Leaders of America. Like right now, I know we have Honor Society, we have Gay Straight Alliance, we have Poetic 101, and this year we started Young Democrats Club, only because my daughter started Young Democrats Club. But I know there's like various other clubs that teachers have started, such as maybe Gaming Club, but these aren't state competition clubs. The kids aren't being exposed to other schools. And I know everybody here has probably gone to other districts' websites and seen the amount of clubs that they have, and it's unbelievable. Like the amount of clubs that other districts have that we just don't have. So
the two clubs, Omega Nights and Rising Scholars,
Yeah,
are the
there's
two
not-
that are up there that don't exist.
no, not.
No, they just currently since the pandemic. So since the pandemic.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't. I'm not sure when, because my daughter just is going into sophomore year, so I'm not sure when Omega Nights, it might have been a while ago, but
Before the pandemic hit, the Omega Nights.
Right, 2007. 2007? So what's I'm thinking about the one that, the Saturday program. The Saturday program.
The Saturday Rising Scholars.
That's Rising Scholars? I thought they were a combination of one, like they were running what, like
Rising
hand in
Scholars
hand?
and Omega Nights are not the same.
No, I mean like hand in hand, like one,
Oh, you have to ask, Mr. Robinson, because that was his thing.
yeah.
All right.
so that's really,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Ms. Monroe, it's just been brought to my attention. What is it that you want to go into the executive session? Because if it's not about personnel or anything like that, it has to be done in an open forum like this. So if it's pertaining to the other uniforms for the other team, is that what you're, or was it a personnel?
We can talk about it now.
Is it a personnel or was it?
If it's personnel.
Put your
or-
thing in.
Well, I mean,
If personnel, then. I'm sorry. If it's personnel, it should be executive session, not in the open. But if it's not personnel, if it's something about sports or something like that, then it should be discussed in the sunshine at a public meeting. Yes.
so it's like both.
Well, the personnel piece can be discussed,
Okay.
can be in executive session, yes.
All right, so we can talk about it now. So I, once again, Ms. Monroe Woodsit, I think we really need to do a inventory of all athletic teams, except football at this point. Because there's no way in the world that our other athletic teams besides football need uniforms. Or should need anything. Right, at this point. So it is.
That inventory has been done, but this part two of that is Mr. Hooven and Mr. Butler meeting to prioritize it. We did just get the list. That's what Dr. Ryan was waving to you.
Okay.
Okay?
So what I'm saying right now is Ms. Monroe Richard does not want to see any purchase orders for any uniforms for football. Because there's no way, I've been sitting here for 3 terms now, that is always a team reusing, using for multiple years. But I never hear the football team come up here. No child should be wearing a uniform that smells. Agreed. No child should have the same uniform for 3 years straight and they have smells. I have a problem with that.
Or share it with another teammate.
Or share it with another teammate. I have a problem with that. I also just want to make it very clear that there is a process. There is a process for every activity. I want to say activity in the district that needs to go through either the athletic director or whoever else is the person that will be over that extracurricular or the athletic side of it. I'm just very disappointed. I don't want to have to make this my speech. I know curriculum has been my speech since I got on the board. I don't want to have to add athletics and extracurricular activities onto it. I would just hope and pray that everyone treats the students of Southeast Delco like they're their own students at their house. So you won't want your child wearing dirty clothes out in public, making you look bad. So we don't want our students out in public with used uniforms. With uniforms that are not appropriate at all. That was just my speech. We had already talked about previously, Dr. Winder and Mr. Butler, about doing the inventory piece. I'm really heartbroken. I know Ms. Manson always comes up, talks about it. I'm glad someone else came up and talked about it. Yeah. Thank you for having the courage to do it. One educated to another, got to stick together. But I don't want to see another one. I do not want to see another one. I mean, meaning that if it's happening, I would like to know about it, but I don't want to have to come before the board again about uniforms for students. That was my piece. And then I have one more when we're done this part.
Okay, I would like to say on that, I agree with you 100%. I don't think anyone from any team or sport should have to come before the board and request any type of reimbursement or money in order for that team to progress for the school year. I think that is terrible. But we just found out about some of these teams, which even tonight, that needed uniforms and everything. This isn't, I remember Mr. Butler saying at the last meeting that he was not even aware of this. Right. So there has to be something put in place. Okay. That's what I was saying about a policy or procedure, right, so that all the athletic teams, regardless to what it is, the steps that they have to take in order to get the proceeds and things that they need for their team.
Right, I agree.
I'll say something as well. Along the same lines, I agree. The protocol has to be put in place. I'm glad that we were able to do that for the cheerleaders, but again, it looks unfair. Yes. You were able to come up here and request that, and we want everyone to have a fair chance at this money that they're deserving of and these opportunities that they're deserving of. Protocol needs to be put in ASAP so we don't have this as a repeat process. It's embarrassing, inappropriate, and unprofessional. And as far as responding to your email, I had nothing that I could contribute personally. Me, Amy Washington. I was on board with it and I approved it. But as far as contributing and responding, I had nothing. All right. Thank you.
Dr. Wanda. This is Mary. Can I just say something about what y'all discussing? Or is this only y'all?
Yeah, you're not supposed to speak from that.
Anyone else? If not, then her next response. Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I just add, because I wanted the cheerleaders to have the camp, and I wanted them to have the other items that you requested that we didn't put on the agenda. But as a mother of an athlete at the high school, I know what it is like to take your athlete to another high school where they all have matching warm-ups and backpack. I know what that's like. I completely do. But like if the volleyball team needs uniforms, unfortunately, I think we'd have to prioritize the uniforms before the warm-ups and the backpacks and the spandex. I know our soccer teams need uniforms. We have less uniforms than children that play. So I want every sport and every club and every activity to have everything that they need. But the reason that I voted no today was because I saw that this would be what would occur. And we are really working on, Mr. Butler and Mr. Hooven really are working on ways to even the playing field for all of the teams. And then I think we can start discussing those extra items. But I think things like nets, soccer goals, and uniforms have to come first before those extra items that make us look really fancy and nice. I would love for us to have them, but the necessities, they have to come first. And that's all. Thank you, Madam President.
Ms. Monroe? Okay, all right. Are there any other questions from the board at this time pertaining to the topic that we are discussing? Dr. Winder?
Yeah, I just want to say, we have inherited this issue, but I need the public, the parents, the staff to understand. We're going to have to prioritize, from what I'm hearing and what I received from Mr. Hooven, it is a long list. We gotta look, I said it the other night, we can't keep looking in the past, we have to move forward. But we also have to know that the past does have some damaging effect. And so, we're going to prioritize, but not everyone is going to be able to walk out in 22, 23 with everything, but we are going to do our best in every way that we can. And then we also need people to be forthcoming. We have a new AD, Mr. Hooven, and we want to give him a chance and not hold against him what has or hasn't happened in the past. And we want everyone to, if it's a sport, make contact with Mr. Hooven and provide him with your information and give him the opportunity to follow protocol. Thank you.
I do have something now.
Okay.
Sorry. Can we make the number one priority uniforms?
It is, right? It is.
Thank you.
That's a health.
Yes, that's. I just want to make sure that we are.
Sanitation first.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns from the board at this time? Okay. Announcing future meetings for the board. Committee of the Whole meeting is Thursday, August 18, 2022 at 6 p.m. One moment, Ms.
I'm now waiting for you, Madam President.
Yes, you go. Okay. Business Board meeting is Thursday, August the 25th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned.